tag, that means he got franchise tag. He'll play for around $26 million this year. Do you like this move for Joe Burrow and the Bengals?
No, I don't like any of it, and I kind of soft launched this take last week, where I said that the Bengals have mismanaged this, in my opinion, letting it get to this point already, to where if there wasn't the deep, long-term, back-to-college personal connection between Joe and Jamar, I would consider turning the ship in the other direction, giving T money and getting a first-round pick and then some for Jamar Chase. But I didn't think that was doable because Joe and Jamar are so tight. But on the heels of this, the same-day reporting of him being tagged was Diana Rossini, maybe the most reliable NFL reporter out there, telling us Jamar and the Bengals are miles apart. I don't think you can have both of these players at a combined, I don't even pay two receivers a combined $65 million. And that's what we're looking at. And so they still could trade T. You can trade him, you know what I mean, when he's on the tag. And if you also saw today, they released Kappa, their guard. There was a report they might be trying to release Sam Hubbard. Guys, we saw what the Bengals look like with Burrow playing at MVP level. Yeah. Higgins awesome, Chase awesome. They're not good enough. And so I don't trust the franchise. I don't know why they do this thing where they draft good players, they play well, and then they're like, okay, your rookie contract has come to its conclusion. We wish you good luck in your future endeavors, but it's what they've done repeatedly. And so, no, I don't like it in any way, shape, or form, and I wonder if there's another move coming because I just can't see them, Coach, paying Jamar $40 million or $40 million a year and T. Higgins 1 year, $26 million.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't do this at this point because with Jamar, he's on his fifth-year option, so you have time to negotiate with him. And even if you're far apart, it's not like he can go anywhere else, so there's no pressure there. With Hendrickson, it's the same thing. He has another year on his contract, so you may be trying to work on a deal with him, but he can't go anywhere else either. The only person that could go anywhere was T. Higgins. So by franchising him, now you have the option to see where those other deals come out, potentially negotiate with T to see whether you can get a longer-term deal, if that makes any sense, or you have the ability to trade him down the line, which you get value as an organization. Why would you let a guy walk free when you now have him for this number? And if he plays, okay, it's a one-year deal, and you're not stuck with a bunch of dead money, or you're not stuck with a long-term deal. And if you decide to move on him, you're going to get some real capital, maybe from Wilds, Patriots, or whoever, where you trade him and you get something back for the player. That makes sense too.
Yeah. So I agree with you that if this is a placeholder en route to a trade, then that's fine. It doesn't seem like that's what they're saying they're doing. Like now, like the Chiefs last year, tag Snead and made it very clear. This is a tag to trade. Like they didn't say it public, like the Chiefs didn't make a statement, but you do see that. You know what I mean? Somewhat often. It doesn't seem like this is it. And the idea. I will say this about Jamar being like, he's under contract. He's at his fifth-year option. So we don't get it worked out. We have time. This is, I guess, months down the road. I am very confident that Jamar Chase is not playing football this year under his current deal. He thought he needed a deal a year ago. Yeah. Like the idea that they would let, because that's basically what they did with T. Higgins. They just kept, they let his rookie deal play out and then franchised him. I think this makes it harder to get a deal done with Jamar Chase.
This is what I can't have happen. How long did Jamar hold out? Remember we were like running. He held in.
Yeah, Jamar didn't hold out.
He would show up at practice and just walk around. We can't have the Bengals drag this out and then get off to another slow start.
Sure we can.
And then try to have them catch fire at the end of the year.
The scariest team to miss the playoffs.
Well, the problem with all this is the negotiations take forever. And the agent will come back and he'll make a proposal, and then the team will make a proposal, and then they've got to sit for 4 weeks and think about, I don't know what the holdup is. It used to be so frustrating as a head coach because you're going to get to a place where you both agree, but it ends up taking so much longer than it should.
I don't know that the Bengals are going to get to that place. We underrate the importance, and the impact, I should say, of ownership when we talk about these teams. And this is not a value judge. I guess it's a little bit of value judgment, but it's supposed to be as caustic as it maybe sounds when I set it up like that. But Mike Brown just has a way of doing business that he believes is how we are going to do business. We're not, as you pointed out the other day, they have no dead money because they don't cut players for the contract's over. Burrow's the only guy they've guaranteed money past year one. It's just how the Cincinnati Bengals do business. And that makes me, and now that they have T. Higgins kind of in their back pocket for this year, it makes me very anxious about what's going to happen with Jamar Chase. Because Jamar Chase and the head coach last year, right before the start of either training camp or the regular season, was like, yeah, I think it's safe to say we're going to get something done. And then they didn't. So if the head coach thought they were and the player thought they were, that's ownership. So I just don't know.
Well, the other option from a team perspective is you've got them both. You have the rights to both of them. You could potentially move on from Jamar if that's what you wanted to do.
That would be a disaster.
Well, it could be, but everything shifts back to now the team having leverage. The player has the leverage of sitting out, but the team has the leverage of the player can't go to the market and see what the market bears, so they're not negotiating against someone else.
Yeah, but we know what the market bears for Jamar Chase.
We do, and the downside of letting it sit is as new contracts come in, the market's continually being reset.
A little more than Justin Jefferson. That's what we're going to end up at, right?
Yeah. But
so why don't we just start? Can I have a little more than Justin Jefferson? What are you going to say? No, that's what it's going to be.
Well, it's interesting because it seems like it's that way, but some guys want guaranteed money. Some guys want upfront money. Like there's different ways that guys want their money.
I agree with that, but 95% of the negotiation is here's Justin Jefferson's average annual salary, total value, true guarantees, and total guarantees. Add 10% to every single dollar there and change the year from 2024 to 2025 and go.
Maybe a half hour.
Yeah,
I know you're right.
It's different things, and the upfront money sometimes scares owners because they got to write that check early. They want to space it out where they get X amount of millions of dollars here. Those are the type of negotiations. It seems
might become an agent.
I could do this very quickly.
It seems simple, but each guy and each agent has a something that's really important to them, and what was important to one guy is not as important to the other guy, and you got to find out what works for both sides. It's painful.